Hello everybody, this is ZigZag coming to you from somewhere in this world, and we are just loading in early just to give folks a chance to join us here. So we'll let that go on for a couple minutes and then we'll get going. All right, yeah, let's take a look at this. I knew I knew I'd get some comments about what kind of random game did you choose here? Well, it's a little, it fits an itch for me, and I decided to share it with everybody. What the heck? And besides, I got so much going on lately. It's like I just finally had to pick. I couldn't get the first look videos out that I wanted to do to let you guys kind of choose the game. I'm less than 2 weeks away from having to take my Polish exam for my driver's license. Fortunately, I get to take it in English, or I definitely fail. But I've been spending a lot of time there, and I'm still on the practice test missing it by 3 or 4 points. So yeah, if I'm distracted, you know me. Oh look, a squirrel! I get distracted easily. So I finally just had to get this stream thing going, or otherwise it could have lagged on easily without a game for a while, and I wanted to get the streams going again, so here we are. Well, let's take a look. There's not a lot of settings here that we're going to do. All I have here is the options. We'll get into various difficulty settings when I click on the new game button. But it's based, I think the setting of the game is back in the 80s somewhat. The spy scene back in the 80s. The Cold War is still alive. CIA, KGB. Hey Patrick, welcome aboard. That's kind of the setting of this game. The vibe of this game is kind of 80s spy, Cold War spy scene back then. And you'll see some slightly, some of the storylines you'll see, you can clearly recognize the incident they're talking about, although it's changed slightly for the game. What do you mean? No. What do you mean? The theme? It's a turn-based game. How about that? So what's the setting? Well, I got that. That's not apparently what you. What's the theme? It's a turn-based spy game. Stealth. Does that fit what you're wanting to hear? And since we're going to start soon, I'll jump into the options. We'll just look at the audio, and you'll have to let me know. Oh, the theme of the world? Just think 80s. Without, as far as the spy scene, though, without the big hair. No, it's real 1980s. No post-apocalyptic, no outer space. It's Earth, 1980s. The Cold War spy scene. That's what it is today. Oust, welcome aboard. We got the avatar here. We're ready to go. But I turned down the music a little, but I didn't touch anything else because there's some intercom voices and radio voices, telephone voices that are hard to hear, so I kept everything else loud. If anything, as we're playing, is obnoxious, let me know. I can come in here and adjust any sound. And then gameplay wise, just so you know, because it may look a little weird, I have every individual on an accelerated movement, in other words, we always run, because it's cool at the beginning because you have running and you have walking, and the walking just over the course of playing, I find it just wastes time, and I want everybody to hurry up. So the movement is accelerated and everybody's running. Just know that there's other options on movement speed. No, everybody does not always run in the world, but it does here. So there you go. And then we have also reduced range of the actor perk when you're sneaking around trying to be stealthy, putting on, your disguise. the enemy agents, not every enemy, but the enemy agents, the top agents, will be able to see through that disguise if they get close enough. So I play with that option also. Other than that, there's not a lot of other options to talk about before we hit the start button. Yeah, 80s spy detective theme. There's a noir feel. I don't know if it's an LA noir feel to it, but it's got that. It definitely got the spy vibe, 80s Cold War spy vibe going on. That you'll see. And it looks like it's 6 o'clock, so I'm going to hit new game, and we're going to get going. I think the only thing I got to do is pick out a character. It's going to be me, and there will be ways down the line when our cover gets blown from the agents in our group that I will have an opportunity at that time to rename people. And anybody who happens to be on the stream at that time, if you're interested, we'll name some of our agents after you too once we get to that point in the game. So we're going to play on hard. The difference between easy, medium, and hard, the main difference right there is we don't have the ability to dispose of bodies. So if we're sneaking around and going around things in all the other lower levels, you can quite easily dispose of the bodies and hide them. In our level, no, there's no time for that. Every room does not have a conveniently empty closet or a conveniently empty trunk to dispose of a body. So it's not realistic, and it's more challenging, of course. So that's why we're going to do it. I'm not going to run us through the tutorial. You'll learn quick enough about mechanics or whatnot. Extended is locked because I've never finished the game. There's another motivation that I want to play this game for. I want to finish the freaking game. I think the extended is just more in-depth cutscenes from what little I know about the game, but since I've never finished the game, I can't tell you for sure. And we're not going to play in Iron Man mode. If I make a mistake and we're interested in continuing, poo-poo on the Iron Man. We're playing on hard. That should be good enough. And I think that's about it. Let's go pick out our character. Oh, yeah, here's the other one. I have not finished a playthrough, so I think the Mossad might be the other agency here. But I'm just going to play as the CIA because, well, I'm an American citizen, so what the heck. I've played as both messing around, never finishing KGB and CIA. They're both unique and different and fun. But at least the CIA, a lot of the characters, the majority, will be speaking in English versus the KGB. So what I'm going to do is just pick out my character, and I'm going back to kind of the way I looked back in the 80s. And we're just going to go with that, and not going to waste a lot of time on this part of it because compared to games of today, the customization options are not amazing. What is like a 5-year-old game going on 6, so keep that in mind as we're going through the game. I think it's still fun without all the bells and whistles. That's what I think, and we'll find out if you think the same. As far as the face, I'm just going to go with Kevin and make him look like me. Boring old parted haircut, that I in the 70s my hair was more wild. In the 80s I was working and I did not go with the puffed out look. Thank you, Captain Timo. I know some people were going to be disappointed if I didn't play as the KGB, and back in those days I was still considered athletic. So we're going with the athletic build also. And the hair, I'm keeping the same. The only thing I'm doing is my hair's darker. And we'll do that. I'm clean shaven, and I was back then. Oh, I had finally gotten rid of my 70s mustache back then. So, that's the look we're going with there. We're going to try and think of how would I have looked back then. More, I could have gone with the bomber jacket look back then, I guess. No, I wasn't wearing a lot of formal stuff back then. I did go with a lot of pleated chinos kind of a thing, so we're making this to be a faux zigzag here. And if I'm going to be a spy, I don't want to leave fingerprints, so we're going to put on some gloves. And we'll just dress it up a little bit with my Oxfords to match my jacket. And there's the outfit that you got. Nothing fancy, nothing special. I definitely did not wear a hat back then. Although, you know, I love the hats that they have here, but, you know, this is the 80s. How many people were wearing these in the 80s? Well, it wasn't me. So we'll kind of forget the hat. And that's about when I started wearing glasses. So I'm gonna go with, I kind of at some point had a tortoiseshell frame, but it was black, and I'm gonna stick with that. And then as far as attachments go, I'm a spy, so I'm gonna have an earpiece. There you go. Felipe, how you doing? Good to see you on board. Welcome aboard. Well, we got a few of you on board today. How cool is that? Wanted to check out this game, see if it's any good, eh? Or see if I can play it properly. I at that point did not have any scars, at least not on my face. And as far as probably as a spy, you don't want too many tattoos, so we'll do a kind of inconspicuous tattoo that doesn't draw too much attention. No, I did not live in Alabama in the 80s. In fact, that's one of the few states I might have crossed a corner of it before in my travels, because I've been in the South, but Alabama is one of those rare few states I have not been in. I've been in pretty amazing amount of the U.S. states, but Alabama is one that I have not been able to notch off. Oh, I remember that story, Mike. now you're making me remember that story. So there you go. Well, we got to fit into a lot of different situations as a spy. You know, we got to fit into formal. We got to fit into casual. So I kind of went with that in-between look. So anyway, let's start the game. We got... He has a pretty funny story, Timo, about that one. You'll have to sometime have him share it with you. Anyway, did we talk about that in the Discord, Mike? I can't even remember where we ended up talking about that. So it might be logged somewhere if you're into digging around the Discord. But anyway, we're going to start the game and see what the story has to tell us right off the bat here.
Yankee Juliet uniform. Reporting contraband seized.
Understood. Break off patrol. Head back to base.
Товарищ, HMS Conqueror нарушил радиомолчание.
Что? Показать расшифровку. Побыстрее. Немедленно послать в Москву. Немедленно.
We got intel from Vladivostok. It's big, Steve.
Langley seen it yet?
No. Should they?
Hell yeah, but use the network. We don't want anyone listening in.
There's your southern accent for you.
First the British, and now the Americans. Was there anyone else you wanted to involve in our plans?
I am handling it, Valhalla. Get out. Both of you.
Your incompetence has exposed us. Now Iceberg is in jeopardy.
Doing all of this in the open was your idea.
True. It was a simple plan that any fool could have executed. And you failed.
Gentlemen, this problem is easily solved.
Traitors!
Now, don't shout. It's bad for your heart.
And that's not. Yeah, that's a look. And to be quite honest, I have a friend that's like a dead ringer for that guy in the purple. So, well, I should say I had a friend who used to be a dead ringer for that guy in the purple. Although, I don't think he was quite the douchebag, but... So this is 6 weeks earlier, everybody, just in case you didn't see that down in the lower left.
Pakistani nuclear program is legit?
Leslie's usually right about these things.
Really? Shit. I bet him $10 it wasn't.
You're a hopeless dreamer, Bolt.
So we are in Pakistan right now, 1983, March 11th. There's 3 of us in the Jeep. This is our little covert team here.
Good. Keep the comms to a minimum. Our disguise is pretty thin as it is.
What if Leslie calls?
I don't think he'll be joining us on this one. He's on the move.
Okay, so the reason I have the sound maxed out is that banter up in the upper corner is sometimes really hard to hear. Fortunately, there is, yeah, you know, the subtitles are beneath it, so if the sound isn't coming through clear enough, as long as you're not watching on a handheld phone, you should be able to read those okay. So that's what I'm hoping on this one. And Pakistan, a little bit of a dusty dust storm. And this is our first mission. I've done it like 1,000. It feels like I've done it 1,000 million times, but for most of you, this will be the first time. And there's several things we're trying to accomplish on the missions. We have an objective over here where we have to, and the objective can on a mission change over time, depending on, you know, like once we reach the sealed off area, the objectives will change. In the meantime, if I press the escape button, not to save, load, or restart, but over up in this right-hand corner, there's some things we can gain if we look around the map as we're sneaking to do the main quest of the mission. And we have 5 pieces of loot that we can find. We have 4 classified documents that we can collect. So these are really important and really help a lot if you can find those. They're not required, but they really, really help when you can find them. So I know this map, so a lot of times what the course of a map, because this is a story mission, a story part of the map, so this map will never change if you're ever playing, unlike other maps. So I know where we have to go to get the things on this particular map. It won't be so obvious and normal and routine. Once we get out of chapter 1, I won't know the story missions so much, and I'll be on the same page as you all looking around. So what we're going to do with the team, we are all in disguise. So these lowly soldiers that have 55 health that you'll see around the way, this is a civilian. He has no health bar above him. So if things were to go loud, he's just going to hunker and run away. But any soldiers on here will have their health bars, and unless you have a really high-level agent, these guys are not going to see through our little disguises. So these guys are not a concern. We can walk right up to them in our disguises and they will not recognize us. So we're going to spread out a little bit and go for some of the loot that I know is around on this map. And my code name, in case you didn't recall from the beginning, this is me. I am Deadpan right here. I have 87 health, and we'll look at other numbers down the road. Canasta, we're going to send her back this way because I know there's some intel back here, and we're going to head over in this direction. And over on this side, we would appear to have, we have 2 soldiers in this building. And you can see when I hover over them, these white, this is basically their range of vision. Civilians, yes, can still detect us. Sometimes, yes, they can still detect us, especially if we're not in disguise. They can detect us. Now, I'm going to come right over here because right now these guys are in perfect position. They don't always start this way. Sometimes they start right looking at that thing. I can come in here and pick this stuff up that's in this case because nobody can see me the way they're faced or they're too far away. So we're going to pick up some loot right away. And we picked up 3 out of the 5 loot just in this cabinet right away, and we'll look at that afterwards to see what this loot is in specifics. But I know there's at least a couple weapons that I saw that we're able to grab out of this case. So, and another thing to look at here, we have these 2 blue arrows. That is our movement. We have 2 movement. So this is turn-based, but throw XCOM out the window. The movement and the to hit and everything else is going to be different. I'll try to explain it as we go. So we have 2 movement and we have 1 action bar, which is like you can shoot or you can do something else. So movement and action. And so I can continue moving, and just to show you that we are under no suspicion and we have this really good supply or disguise, and that the lowly soldiers can't see through it, we're going to move right in front of them just to show you that is the case. And everybody has moved. And you can see everybody's running, so the reason I speed everybody up. So yes, you can move 2 movement points and still attack. Yes, you can. You can move a movement point, attack, and then move again. So that's kind of how it's split up. And I can't remember if anybody's in this room, but it doesn't matter. They won't see through our disguise. So we're just going to move all the way in here towards this cabinet. Yeah, nobody's in this room. Let's get somebody else moved. I know I know where things are, so it's not like I have to spend a lot of time on this map looking around. I know I need to get over here. We're going to come over here and open the door. The doors are your friend or your worst enemy in this game. And we're going to get up next to this door here. It's not critical. Doors are not critical on this mission because we don't have a lot of people that can blow our cover in this particular mission. Oh, am I talking too loud? I'm sorry. I'm excited to be streaming again, so I'll tone it down. Or I'll turn the music up to make me not sound so loud. So anyway, yeah, we'll have different gadgets. We'll have modifications we can also do, but normally you'll come up to these doors, you'll take a peek in the room and look around and see what we got. So we have a couple individuals here dressed like us, so we're going to fit right in when we come in here. And this objective is flashing over here. That's apparently one of our objectives. We have some more intel over here we're going to have to get to. And if you hover over individuals also, it'll show their pathing that they're going to take next turn. This guy is going to move over to this desk, and this guy is not going to move anywhere. He's really intent on working this device over here. And then finally, let's see, we got some guy just staring at our intel that we need to pick up. So we can walk in here, but we don't dare take a picture of it right now, or he'll sound the alarm and we'll all get, oh man, we will be in trouble if that was to happen. So we're just going to wander in here, wave and go, hey, I know I'm just a worker here, but I really dig these tanks. I wanted to get a closer look. And that's our cover. And everybody should have moved now.
I'm here.
Yeah, we did. So we'll end our turn. Alright, so I'm going to go pick up this loot here and get grouped up with the other team, because at some point, okay, we got 2 more weapons, some pistols it looks like. Oh, that is the ambient music. Oh, because I have to talk over the dust storm. Of course, it's loud outside. Okay, we're gonna come back out and join up with the rest of the team here. Because at one point on this particular mission, we will need to be together to help each other out. And right now, it's not critical. That's the advantages I have on the early missions, but you'll get to see me make plenty of newbie mistakes as we get farther into the series, because I won't know what these missions are. So he's going to walk back over here. It looks like he's a wanderer, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and stand here without taking any pictures of the intel and just go, hey, how you doing? And he's moved away. He's not looking at us anymore. Now's our time to jump. And we have our first piece of top secret documents. And we can move again after that action. Oh! Okay, there was no glass in that window. That's why. It's just a tent, right? Yeah, it's just a tent. I try to avoid, the pathing often takes you through windows and it shows the windows breaking. So I try whenever possible to go through the doors because that just bugs me. I know when we go through, we break our first window, it could be that we're just opening the freaking window, but the graphics show that you're just busting through the window for whatever reason they did that. Ease. Simpleness for coding, I don't know. Yeah, this is a game where a misclick makes things very interesting. And this is a game where the combat, you don't want to get into a prolonged firefight, because almost every mission when it goes live, reinforcements are called. We have a joke. Speaking of me being a spy, Gleaser, my aunt used to work for the State Department, the United States State Department, and she was stationed all over the world. You know, she was in Saigon when it fell. Well, she wasn't in it when it fell, but she got out shortly before it fell. She's been stationed in Tel Aviv. She's been stationed in hot spots all around the world. And so we joke with her all the time, you are just a secretary. You were a spy. So maybe that's why I have a soft spot in my heart, whatever, for spy games. We like to pretend in our family. We always call her the family spy. Okay, so everybody here is now occupied. Nobody else is around. We're going to take a picture of this intel. And you're going to see, we have a little bit of a predicament now. We have two individuals here, and this guy's not moving, yet we have to do something over here. So we're going to have to figure that out. And let's get some more help over here so we can make that a reality. And I have one more. Durand has to move, so you took your picture. I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to send Durand out, and this is his code name, not his real name. But we're going to send him out to look at something over here to show you what this particular device does.
Laser barriers. There's definitely something valuable in here. Get rid of them before you scroll through one.
Alright, so these are laser barriers, and this is our objective that's now shown over here. So, disable the laser barriers, optional. I guess maybe... Oh, you see, if I had a lockpick, I could get through the door this way, but guess what? This early in the game, I don't believe any of us have or are carrying lockpicks. One of us has a frag grenade. One of us has a med kit and a flashbang, and I happen to have a smoke grenade and a first aid kit. So this is what we're sporting. You can see our weaponry down here when we're chosen. All of us have one pistol and then some higher rate of fire weapon, and they all vary. Well, it is. That's what it is. But guess what? I do care about stealth. There's when you start counting all the soldiers that we've seen around on this, and then start factoring in the reinforcements that arrive a few turns later, and you have not even seen all the other soldiers that might be in this inner sanctum yet. So, yeah, there's no necessarily primary. I guess there's no real primary or secondary, but yeah, this is the one that normally will deal you the most damage. But some of these are, you'll see when we get into battle. Some of the single shots you can always shoot at the end of your turn. Some of these you can only move one of your movement to get a full target. They're on full auto, and it costs more to be able to shoot them. So there you go. Danny McFly, welcome aboard. Yeah, it's very much about stealth. There's two things that really help in this game, Danny, and that is the silenced pistols, the silencers, and sometimes, and I don't think we found any in these early cabinets, unfortunately. That's always golden when you find a silencer earlier. Silencers are big especially when you got to assassinate an enemy agent. Also, there's a perk. You'll see there's perks we can pick up. Extra health is a really big one early on. So you can silently take someone out, but you can only silently take someone out, with your martial arts if you have higher health than them. So that's not always possible, especially with our starting. That's not always possible with our starting health at 87. A lot of the enemy agents are in the 90s, and they get over 100 too as far as health. So there's a lot of things that can happen in this game that make it heck of a lot easier early on. Right now we don't have any of those easy things that we're aware of right now. So let's end our turn. That's why I say early game you want to find all that loot, because you never know. It's a joy being disguised. We'll have other missions where maybe only one or two of us is disguised and everybody else isn't, and it's a lot more challenging. And if we don't do proper recon, nobody will be disguised. So there's lots of different ways to do the missions and lots of different challenges that we'll have. This first mission isn't, well, just because I'm familiar with it and I've played it so much, it's not the hardest one out there. When you play a specific setup, you kind of know what to do. And we'll get past this mission, but as we're going along, if you have questions, this is kind of the one that'll teach us the mechanics. Now, I'm also going to come in here, and we're going to take a peek in this door. Oh, look, there's a guy standing over here, and he's not moving over this intel that I desperately would like. Yeah, loot. Oh, look. Oh, look, a squirrel. Right there. We got to go get it. So, everybody's moved.
I'm here.
Okay, we need some help over here is what we need. So we're going to... Next turn or the turn after, we'll have two of us in here. Because what we're going to have to do to turn off those lasers is we're going to have to... do something about this individual that's not moving away from that machine. And at the same time, we're going to have to do something about this individual, because in his wandering ways, if we just take this person out, since I cannot hide bodies on the hard level, in his wandering, he would clearly see something and he would he'd send out the alarm, and soldiers would come a-running. So we need help in here. In other words, we need two folks in here to take care of things. I guess we could do it with one, but you'll see why I prefer doing it with two here in just a moment. Okay, we're going to do our first takedown over here so I can take a look at that loot. I'm going to come in here, move behind the guy. And his health, as I said, is 55. Ours is 89, so we're going to have no problem. Turn-based looters, turn-based sneakers, whatever. So we're gonna do this. The takedown is right here, and this blue bar right here that you see under us is our awareness. So our awareness also has to be high enough to be able to do this a takedown also, because doing a takedown costs awareness. And then this guy, the other thing is the two pieces is we have to have higher health than the guy we're going to take down. So let's just do it. And when it's a soldier, they're dead. When it's a civilian, we knock them out. That's what the game kind of tells you. We have mercy on the civilians. We have no mercy on the soldiers. So we have 3 out of 4 documents right now. And everybody has moved now, so let's just end our turn. Yeah, because we'll see it more when it happens. Awareness helps avoid damage. Yes, it's like a dodge stat. In other words, the difference between this and say XCOM, when you shoot at somebody, you always hit. But you'll see the damage possibilities on a weapon will have a high number and a low number. And if an individual has enough awareness, they can dodge and take the lesser of the damage. So that's kind of the way. So that's why getting into a prolonged battle is not good for one's health, because you get hit a lot. It may only be for a little. If you have full cover, there is a chance to not get hit at all, because cover factors into how much damage you might take on the low end. But you're always they always, everybody, you just have to think, anytime somebody shoots at you, they're going to hit. It's more a matter of how much damage are you going to get hit for. So prolonged battles are not healthy in this game. So this guy's going to move back over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that's me. We're going to bring me over here, Deadpan. And we're going to knock, because I don't think I could have quite reached him. Maybe I could have. And we're going to get everybody set up to take these two scientists, quote unquote, down next turn. So we're just going to hang out there. And do we have anyone else left? Yes, we're going to pull you back out. Oh, and you see these guys looking in here? If these guys were able to look in here at the right angle, I have a dead body laying there. So to be quite honest, next turn, since they're going to be busy in the other building, I'm going to take, just to be safe, Durand over here. Open doors are a curse to your health also, because you have all these people wandering around, and if you take somebody out, these bodies are laying around in there. Yes, I'm going to come back and close the door again. And the only reason it was open, and you'll see this as we go, if I had not opened the door for a preview look and just run through the door, it would have, in non-battle mode, the door just swings shut. But since I physically opened the door, I would have had to I'm going to have to go back and physically close the door. In battle, when we get into battle and you run through a door, they stay open. So that's the challenge of there's lots of little challenges when you get into battle on this thing too. I think everybody's moved now. Yeah, we just got to go to the next turn. And good. No, fortunately, nobody's able to gain the angle in that room. But I guarantee you, the wandering patterns in this particular mission are not particularly hurtful or difficult to deal with. And we know this person doesn't move, so we're going to do our takedowns right now. This one we're taking down just so they don't see the other takedown that we have to have. Alright, so our civilians are dispatched and out of the way, and we can take care of this device. And our lasers are gone. And we'll get moving off in that direction with those of us that can. We already took a picture of the secret documents in this room. In fact, I think all that we have left, and we can always double check if we're not sure. We got all the loot, and we only have one more classified doc remaining to pick up. So I'm going to come here just to be safe. We'll close the door and get back over here to rendezvous with everybody else. The last thing you want to have happen, and I've had a non-closed door bite me in the rear end. And, you know, y'all might get to see that happen in this playthrough, too. You never know. Well, we're all pretty close together, and that's good, because now we're heading into a new phase. Why don't we just take a peek in here and activate this objective. I won't go too far just so the others can catch up. Alright, so we have some new objectives that have come up. We need to find proof.
Got a lot of background noise. What's up? Well, we're looking for the reactor. No luck. Traces everywhere, though.
It's there, guaranteed.
And that's one of the drawbacks of the game, is the voice acting here. The volume was never set, I guess, in the base game, and there's no way for me to raise that any louder. So we'll just have to deal. But thank goodness they have the subtitles there. If anybody is not able to read those because you're on a phone or whatever and you need us to recap those, just let me know. I have no problem doing that. Okay, everybody's moved. Let's go on. So we have proof of the project that we're here to discover and gain, and then we have some additional intel. We'll have to breach to be able to get that. There's some armed and prepared soldiers there, and we are going to do that just so we can have some battle to have some fighting to take care of in this mission. You know, I'm not one to ever pass up some intel, so of course. It's shiny, I've got to find a way to go get it. And then Durand, we're going to have you get up here close. So we have some more guards in here. We have a guard right here that's patrolling. There's another one. I don't know if we can see him yet. He's usually wandering around up here above. He might be back here if we can't see him, but we'll see him soon enough. Alright, so we'll all kind of head over here for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this door and take a peek. This guy's going to wander away here. I'm dressed like the scientists and the various workers that we have in here, so there you go. And this is our objective inside this terminal here that we need to hack into, I guess. This scientist will move away. None of the others are moving, so to be quite honest, we might be able to just hop on in there next turn and not have to take care of anybody else, because there's nothing else in here other than that terminal that we need to deal with. And none of these are soldiers, they're all scientists. Canasta caught up with the group. Because after the door opened, since it looks like with her moving away, we'll see how her vision is at this point if we can just sneak on in there and do it behind her back.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we hover on her, she doesn't see any well, apparently, let's find out. Yeah, she's only aware, she's so focused on what she's doing, her awareness is per square. Everybody in here, these scientists are so focused on what they're doing, they can only, oh, and this guy's about to move, but he's not moving yet, so we can sneak in here and get this done.
Leslie, Bolt totally owes you $10. We've got a reactor and what looks like a fission device.
The test is imminent. Get out of it. Now.
Copy. We'll save some legwork if we jump over the wall from the roof here. Bolt?
I heard you. Activate your beacon now. I'll meet you at the LZ.
Okay, so the landing zone I'm not going to activate just yet. If I hit the evacuation button down here, it shows me where the evacuation zone that we're going to get picked up at is. However, it takes 4 turns. It's a shorter time on lower difficulties, but on this difficulty we're playing, the evac arrives in 4 turns, so you kind of got to be able to plan ahead. In this one, we got more we're going to take care of. We're going to do the optional, so we are not going to call the evac vehicle yet. And we can still move out of here, and we're going to do that. Doesn't matter about this door being open. We did no killing inside. And we're going to head down to this next building, which is where I know the other intel is that we're going to desire. And we're just going to get set up to go live on this one. Yeah, when we go live, our cover will be blown, and we will get to see how the battle situations look and how they work. Now he's going to move to there, so we're just going to come here. Okay, there's the other guy up on the balcony there. So he's moving away, and this guy is about to move away. So if I can get ourselves over, we're gonna do the attack or the breach next turn. He's gonna move farther along. He's moving in this direction. Yes, he's moving away. He's gonna be moving away. So we're gonna look at breaching next turn. Oh no, calling for evac does not blow our cover on this one. Unlike, you know, another game that we could mention. Calling the evac does nothing. Now, what'll happen is if we were to do everything and not break cover, we can call the evac and it would just sit there waiting for us for as long as we need. But since we're going live, the evac will arrive in 4 turns, and it usually has about a 2-turn timer after that before our cover is blown. So you got to time the evacuation to when you think you're actually going to get there to get out, because if you stick around too long, you can still evac after that time limit, but you pay a penalty with your cover being blown if you take too long to get out. So timing of when you call evac is a big deal for the game. So we're just going to sit around here. These guys are going to wander away. And we are going to breach and go live. Uh-oh.
Jiminy Christmas.
Deadpan, come in.
We're alive, Leslie.
Oh, good. Well, I got static there for a minute. What happened?
The test. It didn't blow us to pieces.
Well, lucky for us, it was a cold test. They didn't have all the pieces. It was a cold test, so we are still standing. We are alive. We are not glowing green just yet. So what we're going to do is do a breach in here so we can get in here. What we can do is let's just open this door to see what we're dealing with in here. We got 3 soldiers in here that we're going to breach against, and there's the intel that we need. We cannot go in here. These guys do not wander. They do not move. So the only way we can get this intel without, you know, everything going crazy is breach. And you'll see why we want to breach as opposed to just going in there and taking a picture and then dealing with them. The breach is kind of fun, kind of cool, whatever you want to say. And you can see right now we got 5 enemies, and that's only the ones we can see. So yeah, we're gonna yeah, the surveillance camera on this one, almost every other mission we go on, we have to deactivate the surveillance cameras. We're gonna come out of this one, I think, with some heat on us just because of that fact. We'll get into that more when we get back to the base. But we have no device in this particular mission that I'm aware of that I can turn off the surveillance cameras. Most every other mission, you can do that though. So we're going to do the breach mechanic, and nearby agents move into the designated area and shoot any encountered hostiles, and it suppresses enemy overwatch. Requires at least 2 agents with firing ability, and we all have our firing ability because we waited here a turn to make sure everything replenished, not that we just used it. So we need to right mouse button on the enemies to lock our targets. So we'll just start. You're coming in here, or me, Deadpan, I'm coming in here. So we're gonna right click over here. This is always weird for me to set up for the first time. Oh, there we go. Now we're to the breach. I gotta click on one of the target areas that we're going into. Now I can start picking our targets.
What the?
And then finally we got our 3rd individual, and we're gonna breach on this guy. And now we go live.
For a second, I almost believed you were worried about us.
Alright, so the breach is handled, and the breach, as you notice, didn't use any of our movement. I don't know if it's always like that, but for this particular breach, it is. We moved in here, and I guess the breach is its own mechanic, being able to shoot and move. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is, before the other two are able to react, who's the closest over here? Is that you, Durand? We're going to send Durand over here and pick up the intel that we came in here for. Alright, and Durand, what I'm going to do then is move you over to this full cover. Fortunately, all of our awareness is high, so if some of these other guards are able to get to us and shoot at us, we will still be okay. I'm going to take some full cover over here with Canasta, and I'm going to be the nice commander and take some half cover over here. And what I can do here, since I shot, so I can't set Overwatch. I take that back. So our turn is done. We all shot from the breach, so we cannot Overwatch. And there's no better cover. You know, if I get up to the doors, they can come to the edge of the door, and that doesn't seem to be a good angle. So the alarm has now been raised. An unsuppressed gun has been fired. And Commander got hit. Oh, I'd venture to say that guy hit. You can see he came in. Now this is what happens. The way the guards work is they're wandering around and they don't have amazing awareness. And once they get alerted, their awareness starts going up each turn. So if you can get to them quick enough before their awareness goes up, you're going to hit pretty well and pretty hard against these guys. That's kind of how that works. And so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take Durand, and we're going to see if we can do a nice shot on this guy right here. And as you can see, here's what it looks like when we're going to shoot. If he doesn't have the awareness to dodge, we're doing 80 damage with this weapon. It's full auto. There's no option. Some weapons you can go full auto and less, you know, more individual shots. This one has not that option. And I'm guessing his awareness is not high enough to go down to the lower dodge. If not, we'll have somebody else that can finish him off. And we just murdered him. What else can I say? He is down. So Durand is done. And we were able to go full auto on that one because you'll notice it took our movement there also. So we're going to take a commander now and bring commander to peek out the door, see if we can locate if that guy's up here still or if he's moved down around somewhere else. And we're going to take a peek. Now actually we're going to have Canasta do that. We're going to bring Canasta up here to take a look. And do we see... Okay, look at the other guy has set Overwatch. He jumped down and he's now behind the truck with Overwatch. He also does not have full awareness yet. So this could be our chance since we have full awareness. And let's just take a look at our two options. This weapon, because he's in full cover, even with an attack burst, and we can't do full attack because a full attack at full burst needs one movement and one action. So we're not going to do a lot of damage here. Our option that'll give us the best chance is right here. Our pistols, it can take a headshot. I haven't called for evac. I'm going to do it right after this turn because we got to get up and over the wall and run a little bit. And I think it'll take about 3 or 4 turns, so I'm gonna call it. Let's see if we hit this guy first. If we kill this guy and he doesn't have enough awareness, we'll call evac right away. So we're gonna try the headshot, and we got him. Thankfully, we got him early enough that the cover didn't offset what the headshot was able to deliver for us, because if he had full awareness back there, that might not have been possible. Just saying. So I'm going to bring myself deadpan right here. We're going to move out to the back side of this truck. And before I do anything, we'll call the evac. It's not that far away. We have to get up on the balcony and then run across the open desert, more or less, to get there. And 4 turns sounds about right, so we're going to call it right now. And then what I'm going to do with my last option that's left here is I'm going to take this weapon and see if we can overwatch against anybody who comes in to reinforce. So we got the evac timers now up here, 4 turns away. And actually after their turn it's going to drop to 3. So we got 3 turns now to get out of here. So nobody came in this way as reinforcements, so we're going to get ourselves moving. We got to get up and evac before all their, because they have not shown. It'll show up here also in the center once their reinforcements start arriving, or it'll give us a timer for when they're going to arrive. What the? I'm just going to get everybody up high.
My skills are at your disposal.
My skills are at your disposal. And all I'm going to do, there's no way anybody's getting up to cut us off over here. It's just a big wall. The only way they're going to be able to come at us is through that door, through that opening. So if they're going to come up behind us, we're just going to set some overwatches. Down here, so if anybody is brave enough to try and work their way in there for us. And you can see the Overwatch covers multiple levels too, so that's kind of nice. And her awareness for Canasta will slowly start rising after that headshot. The headshot used, as you can see, quite a bit of awareness. Oh, because I don't have any fire points right now. That's why I can't overwatch with you. So we're just, there it is. It's our turn. Oh, Duran does. I was on the wrong, I made a mistake as on the wrong person. Everybody's overwatching that opening. I feel sorry for anybody who tries to run that one. Alright, so nobody came through. I've had people come through there as reinforcements before, so that's why I was trying to cover for it. We're going to start climbing down towards the evac zone with only 2 turns to go. We have some enemies out here. And this guy thinks he has some amazing cover. Well, in fact, there's 2 guys over here. And they're both overwatching, not knowing where we are. Well, guess what? Pretty soon, they are going to know. Let's see if Durand can make it down here. No, he can't quite make it to cover. So we're going to take Canasta.
I read you.
She should... Oh, neither one of them can get behind the cover. We need them to get behind. So what we're going to have to do... What we're going to have to do is bring them past this wall a little bit. Yeah, the camera would have still ruined it. But yeah, wouldn't it have been cool if the thing is, we didn't know that cold test was going to happen. We're trying to verify all the information that they could make that happen. We kind of experienced that they have the ability firsthand to make that happen. Now, these guys are both 55, they're both overwatching, and one thing at some point to be aware of is you can kind of see this guy in the back looks like he's just sporting a little old pistol. This guy looks like he has a little upgraded. It's like a, who knows? Well, I don't know my weaponry very well, so I can't tell you what it is. Oh, we're gonna aim on this guy over here. That's what we're gonna do. So deadpan. Well, maybe we have no option. So because of the rock in the way, we will not be able to hit the guy with the more hurtful weapon. Bummer. So this guy has full awareness though. So what you're gonna see now, yeah, it's a machine pistol. There's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Nightmare, coming to my rescue. So we're gonna, I can't get the angle because of the cover we're behind on the guy with the more hurtful weapon. And they both now, they've been waiting, you know, they've been recovering their awareness. So the only damage we're gonna be able to do is not gonna be a kill shot on either of these guys anyway. But we're gonna take the best shot that we can right now and do 40 damage on the pistol guy because he's the only one we can hit. Oh, except I don't have enough action. Okay, so I can't go full auto, but we can do a burst shot and still do 43, similar damage anyway. And yes, you also have to be keeping track of your ammo on top of everything else. And what our two up here will have to do, because they can't see anybody. In fact, this one with a full burst ran out of ammo. I got to do a reload here to be able to use that weapon. But what we're going to do is set our own overwatches over here. Pistol can only reach so far, so it's only so helpful. And this one maybe can reach a little farther in case they run along and make the mistake of running along the fence. One can hope. Oh, he ran along the fence, but too deep for us to be able to hit. And we dodged because we had full awareness, but now we no longer have full awareness if this guy's going to shoot at us. Do you like how I stepped out so he could hit us? But I still had enough dodge where he was only able to do the minimal hit of 1 damage. So we are not hurting too bad right now. Uh-oh. But now someone's coming through that door, and because we couldn't jump down over the wall into cover... Oh, and we got another guy. We're taking hurt, we're taking hurt, we're taking hurt. Sometimes I don't get this many people to react to us this quickly. Sometimes you do. You just never know in this game. And that's why I always say getting into battle is very, very dangerous. The only good thing is nobody's on Overwatch. This guy's already recovered some of his awareness, but if we're going to kill anybody in this next maneuver, it's probably going to be that guy. So what I'm going to do, because I can with Deadpan, is bring him all the way here. Now the other thing we have in equipment is a smoke grenade. And so I'm probably going to use the smoke grenade depending on... I'll probably run here because then we may not have a line of sight. Well, I'd have line of sights on these guys. So I'm going to have a smoke grenade that we can maybe use. I'm going to come here. And then we'll try to see our setup where we can get the best bang for the buck on our smoke grenade.
I read you.
And we got 1 turn before the vehicle shows us. So I put us in let's check the radius of that smoke, because we all may get lucky and be able to hide in some smoke here. Yeah, there's a real good chance that we'll all get smoked, and that way they won't be able to shoot at us next turn. So we're going to see if we can set that up and have enough movement to make that happen. Fortunately, nobody decided to go on Overwatch. I've had that happen before too. And I have 2 shooters available. We got this guy here at 55. This guy had a hurtful weapon. I'm trying to think of who potentially hit us the hardest, because 2 of us can take shots. And I think we're going to try wearing this guy down. Actually, Well, we're going to be in smoke, so it won't matter who. We're going to try working on this guy. Look at that. Because he's in good cover and he has full awareness, we aren't going to do diddly to him. But we got rid of a lot of awareness on him. I don't know if you'll be able to see him, though. No, see, you won't be able to follow up and see the guy. We're going to see if we can kill that other guy. Oh, he's the only one in range. I cannot switch, even though... Yeah, we can't switch to him because it is too far away. So we're just taking shots in case that... I don't know that injuries give us that much experience, but we're doing it anyway.
Right.
And then Deadpan, myself, we're gonna throw some smoke and hopefully not take a hit. Unfortunately, they might all go on Overwatch, so we'll see if that backfires on us. Alright, there's our evac. And it doesn't look like anybody. Well, you know, the thing is, we don't have line of sight either to these guys. So, why is it making me do this looping run out there? I don't know why. I guess I can't run through the smoke. Like I just don't understand why it won't let me. Let's get somebody else to run to see if there's Overwatch. Oh, holy smokes! There is Overwatch. Oh, no wonder it made me run up and around to avoid his. Aha. So what we got is Canasta. We'll see if Canasta can do something to take this guy out and get rid of the Overwatch. And it looks like she will take care of things, even if he has too much awareness. Alright, so we're open, free, and clear from everything we know of to get out of here now. Alright, so that's it. We're done. And as you can see here, now that it's arrived, we have a 2-turn timer before our evac is compromised, and that works against us. But we're going to evac. We did it. Alright, so we completed all our secondary objectives, we got all the equipment, all the data, so successful mission. And it kind of recaps the game with each loading screen over here as far as how we've progressed in the chapter. You'll see more added to it the further we get. And this is what we gained. We gained a pistol, the French DAO. We got 2 compact followers, so we got some extra magazines for a couple weapons, and we got a couple more 38s. So I've had better loot before on this mission. I've had a silencer before on this first mission. That's the way to start, I'm telling you. So now we have some. We're going to be heading back to our base. We have a new agent candidate that we can potentially hire. Well, when we're able to. We have some new intel we've picked up and a new secret file that we've picked up. And we'll take a look at the base now. That's where we're headed now, and we'll kind of take a look at all our agents on our team. We'll take a look at the base and everything involved with the base. And here's our experience that we earned. We got 110 from Canasta. So I think every bit of damage and shooting that we do adds up, to be quite honest. A couple of us got a couple new perks. Let's hope some of those new perks are health. So we can better take out our enemies. We'll find out. But there's our experience. You can see 2 of us took wounds. And we do have, fortunately, an infirmary where we can send these guys to get patched up.
Vendor's on the line.
Someone must have told him about our little trip. Put him through.
Agent Deadpan, I regret to inform you an inspection of your operations is imminent.
Why is that?
Hard to be sure, but my money is on the allegations of an unsanctioned operation in Pakistan.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Leslie isn't your handler anymore. I am. Keep ignoring that, and you'll lose the squad. Fender out.
This might be bad timing, but you have a package from Leslie in operations.
Yeah, there we go. We'll check all this out in a moment. We'll start at the crew quarters here at the bottom. Then we have an infirmary over here, a workshop there, and analytics over here. And we'll be able to add more rooms and operations as we progress. We start out with $5,000, and I can actually say dollars because we're the CIA right now. So it's not credits or anything like that. And our base income where we are now is $40 per hour. So we'll gain $40 an hour. And that's not nearly enough for everything we got to do early on. But, you know, you start with a lot more money on the lower levels too. So typical of a game, we have the less starting pool on the hard level. All right. So we currently have 5 out of 5 agents that were allowed. So this individual that we gained access to, we cannot hire right now. And we'll look at how we can make that happen down the road. But he's sitting over here waiting to be hired and put his name in the pool. Now we got individual soldiers over here. 3 of us we have met already. So let's meet some of the others here. And we'll look at some of the stats and what those are all about. This guy is not amazing. I'll tell you that right now by looking at the numbers. But oh well, sometimes beggars can't be choosers. But the circulatory number influences hit points and fire points. Then the respiratory number at 51 influences damage threshold and movement range. Now some of these terms like damage threshold we'll get a better sense of as we are playing through the game. But right now we'll just review what the stats are. Sensory, that impacts your maximum awareness, your overwatch field, how big that can be, and your sight range. And then motoric is obviously movement, action points, awareness regeneration, and dodge cost. And then these are pretty straightforward over here. Max hit points, or max action points that you can take. There will be ways where we could potentially get these to raise down the road, but we don't have that ability early on. Yeah, that you're hearing it too. Yeah, we don't have the most high class. One of the sinks in our facility here is leaking, and nobody is taking the time to fix it. So yeah, we do have a random water leak. We aren't able to afford the best of things here. The CIA, you know, especially a shady operation that Leslie is helping us with, that apparently Fender doesn't like, and maybe we aren't getting as full of funds as we could have for our hideout, or maybe we had to move here in a hurry. Who knows? So the max fire points, then we have our damage threshold, we have our cost for dodge. So if we want to dodge, we need at least 34 awareness. Our hit points are at 80, our movement range is 6, our awareness peaks out or tops out at 72, and we have this guy Sapphire regenerates awareness 20 points per turn. So there you go. Then we have Canasta, who we have played with, and you see her numbers are significantly better here. It doesn't, however. Hey Jarno, I only noticed you now. Thanks for dropping in. It is an interesting game. It's a little different, and it's an oldie that I still go back to even now. the graphics, and there's some certain idiosyncrasies about the game that are a little annoying over the course of a full campaign, I would imagine, but the core of the gameplay I really kind of like. It's too bad this particular company, by the way, is no longer a gaming company. There is actually a Phantom Doctrine 2 being worked on by a totally different gaming company. However, it's not. I think it's being developed as a first-person shooter, not a turn-based game. So it's not at all like this. It's not even the same company that's developing that one. Pepper, welcome aboard. Good to see you. I'm glad we got a lot of different people dropping in today. So I appreciate that, everybody. I really do. So her higher numbers translate to some better numbers over here, but not drastically different. You know, the other guy with his 50s down here had, I think, only 80 hit points. Canasta has 86. Her dodge cost is less than this other guy's. The first guy we looked at, Sapphire, and her max awareness is pretty similar, though. Oh, 72 versus... No, it's a little higher, and she regens 21 instead of just 20. So these numbers, as much higher as they are, don't translate to, you know, bang up better numbers over here. But it, you know, definitely makes a difference when you start getting a number over here that you're able to hire to really take a look at the stats. And what we're going to do, we'll go back to Canasta. She's picked up a new perk, and this is where I need all of you to But there were a couple spy games that came out at the same time. There's another turn-based one. I can't remember the name of it. This is the one I happened to get, not the other one. And so that's why I know about this game. The other one looks interesting potentially too. I just never picked it up to try it out. And off the top of my head, I'm not remembering the name. I'll try to remember for future stream to take it to refresh my memory. So these are the perks we have available, and none of them are what I was hoping for. Oh, but no, that's quick recovery. I saw HP, but no, increasing HP recovery. Scar tissue protects from loss of damage threshold caused by corrosive substances. We have mild paranoia that improves the benefits of full cover. And we have expert marksman, where single shot attacks, like with your pistol, no longer, or single shot with the multi-fire weapons, don't end your turn. And none of these excite me all that much. Hopefully we don't get hurt and hit a lot, where this comes into play a lot. That's the goal. Benefiting from full cover can be helpful. I'm narrowing it down to one of these two, and since expert marksman allowing us to move more, potentially move more after shooting, I'm going to go to take advantage of the cover, because since the hits are automatic, I'm going to play that the extra help with the full cover will give this person will, on those times when we do get hit, it'll take the lower of the numbers, and that lower number will be less because of our full cover. So I'm gonna say that'll help us out. I'm not thrilled with these, so let's hope this whole game does not give us crap perks all the time. It's gonna make my job a lot more challenging. There's certain perks that make life a lot easier, but it's all random, it's all random. And we'll come back and look at the training after we go through this the first time. But he's kind of a mixed bag with his numbers, not quite as good as Canasta, but his hit points are okay at 85. Dodge cost, so his numbers are okay here. So Codex is not, oh, look at that. We got a Codex in this game too. So this guy's not looking too bad. Durand, who we've had out there that helped us out, he's probably got the best stats so far that we've looked at here. Therefore, his hit points at 89, it shows. His dodge cost is the least so far. So you can see how the higher numbers here pay off in our stats over here. Plus, his movement range is higher at 7 than anybody else that we've run into so far. So Durand is one of our superstars as far as the agents go that we have right now. And finally, we got me. And I'm fair to middling. 87's not a bad starting point. My max awareness, all these numbers are solid. All these numbers are solid. As far as my perks that we have right now is I will always be loyal. there's chances that we have a disloyal agent in our midst right now. We don't know. And, you know, this game has some interesting things that can happen down the road because of that. But anyway, I'm good at recon. So any recon jobs that we go out on, I get extra experience when I take part in those. And a crafting talent, I can craft things, which we'll look at in the workshop. I have a talent for that. I craft things faster, and I have a new perk here. I can throw grenades that don't end our turn. I can move faster. I am gifted, which means bonus XP for missions, which I have right now only for a certain mission. This would give me bonus XP for any mission. And I have actor. Now these perks, so this reduces the distance at which enemy agents can detect the disguise. But if you get too close to another full-on agent, they'll always see through your disguise. So you always got to be careful when you're dealing with agents. But they definitely help. They save you sometimes. Yeah. You mean your agent could be a... I'm glad to see you both in here. That's good. But anyway, since the game ends if I die, basically we have to keep me alive. That's kind of one of the ways it happens. So I'm going to tend to use myself more. I'll be on missions, don't worry. But I'll be more of the early recon guy as much as possible. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go... We're going to have others, hopefully, that can gain the actor perk. And I'm going to go here, and movement, like with many of these turn-based games, movement is... Yeah, Felipe's up above, Pepper. They just have a thing from one of our earlier playthroughs where we had a really good story going between... I think it was kind of a fun story between their two characters that developed. And so Mike is always... making reference to that. So if you have, I forget what series was that, season 4 where that was all mostly taking place. I think it might be, or was it the first season where we started with Terror from the Void? It was one of those two. Oh yeah, it was. So if it came back, yeah, that was the first unfinished Terror from the Void season. So we're gonna take that. So we've all leveled up. And then we also have different training that we can take right here. And if I just click on it, it'll tell you right now, this particular individual has fire and movement tactics, so he has exertion. He can, there's a choice on his ability bar down here where he can exert himself and improve his movement temporarily. He's also an opportunist. So he confers bonus damage against suppressed characters, and he is proficient with the Estrella, this particular weapon only. The good thing about being proficient with various weapons is if there's a silencer that becomes available for it, you can use it. If there's ammo clips that are... You have to be proficient with a weapon to be able to use the attachments and doodads. So that's what his is. Canasta's got the same focus there. It's nice to have a variety of focuses because that way you can get more people with proficient weapons. If everybody needs an Estrella, well, what are the odds that we're going to have that many for the whole squad? Codex, his proficiency is a basic firearms drill, so he doesn't have any special abilities. He just has access and proficiency with a lot of different weapons here, and the shotgun can be a blast to play around with, as it is in most games. And then over here we have contact tactics. So he has blinding lasers, so he can interrupt an enemy overwatch with a laser and make them unable to shoot during their next turn. And we have pain stimulus, so when this guy gets hit, which he was, this agent receives a bonus to damage from his firearms. So if he gets injured, you want him shooting as much as we can because of that perk. And then my specialties are urban operations. I'm an empath. Upon healing other characters, I also restore a small amount of hit points on myself, and I'm proficient with pistols. Unfortunately, we don't have any silencers for those pistols. So there is the barracks right there. Now we'll look closer at hires once we're able to hire some, but right now we're maxed out 5 out of 5. We got 2 individuals in the infirmary. Neither of us has, I have more to heal, but neither of us has a ton of healing to take place. If we go back to the crew quarters and you click on the individual that's in the hospital, it'll tell you, Durand has 2 hours to spend in a hospital. I have 5 hours before we're able to go back out into the field. And I can take anybody I want out of the hospital to do any other job that I might want to have done. They'll just be at less than full health. So there's nothing that says you have to keep them in the hospital. If you need them somewhere and you have to take them out, whatever, you can. They just won't get healed. And finally, now we're in the workshop, and there's a couple things that happen in the workshop. We're able to upgrade our facility via the workshop, and we're able to come in here and craft items. Right now, there's only 2 things we could craft: a flashbang and a lockpick. So we're not going to do those right away, since I don't have anybody who can craft as fast as I can, and I'm going to get myself healed initially. What I am going to do is we're going to look over here, and the first thing I always like to start with, we'll look at all. We have a forger facility. It unlocks the forger facility where we can forge cash and we can customize and change our identities. Eventually, some of us will have our covers blown, and we will need to have new identities. So we will need this sooner rather than later. But I feel recon equipment is more important. It unlocks a certain recon job that allows us to gain tactical advantage, and it's huge. If you try to do a mission without proper recon, it is so... I can't tell you how difficult those missions are. And so that's the first one we're going to do. I'll continue looking at everything else just so you know what's available. Crew quarters expansion, we need to build that. 1550 to get more, be able to hire more agents. We have analytics expansion. This is one I never use because I like doing the analytics job myself. If you tire of analytics, you can expand your analytics and actually assign agents in there to do the analytics part of the game for you. I personally like doing it. It's kind of fun. It hasn't gotten old yet for me. We can expand the infirmary. Right now our infirmary is maxed out. We have hideout perimeter detectors, so maximum danger is increased, effectively reducing the risks of raids and related losses. What's that referring to is right now we have no danger in our current hideout. This is the danger meter for our hideout. If it gets above or into the red zone, we have a high potential of being attacked and raided and having our base assaulted by the enemy. And up until then, we don't have to worry about it. But we'll see more details on how that plays out. And then finally, we have improved real estate contact. So if our cover does get close to being broken, then we have to move our location. And this gives us improved real estate contacts around the map. We discover more possible places for us to move to by doing that. But we can only do one at a time, and this is the one we're starting with right here. So that brings us down to 3,900 in what we have available. So there's this particular facility. And then we have the analytics. And right now, this is also where you'd find out if you have what all your move hideout selections would be and where you go if you need to move. And then this is our investigation board where I do not assign anybody. And we're keeping this open. It shows a picture there, but we have not assigned this person. I want them out in the field early on. So here is our investigation board. So, package from Leslie. That was some first-rate espionage work. I'm talking about mine, of course. Since my intel proved so accurate, I must assume the rest of it is worth checking out as well. I need another favor. Find the man called Aguirre. He's neck deep in this. Also, he's an asshole. Dossier attached. So we're going to take a look. We got a new secret file to take a look at now also. And what we get is we get these individual files. Everything that's written in here isn't necessarily relevant to what we're doing, so I'm not going to always sit through and read everything. But what this tells us, we have to look through here enough, though, to find the name of an organization. We're looking for an organization. And you might have different strips over here. It tells you how many different things you're looking for. We're looking for one little thing in this. So the name Jerry Melendez, he's also known as, his alias is Aguirre. He's from Puerto Rico. He's impulsive, he's vengeful. The known history about Aguirre, he's arrested by Puerto Rican police on charges of petty theft in 1973, dismissed with a warning. Within the same year, arrested twice more, but every time walks out without serving any time due to his young age. 1976, sentenced to 25 years in local prison for the murder of 7 people, including 2 of his own gang members. Escapes within 6 months from detention. And now in 1977, he appears for the first time in DEA records as a local enforcement, the Drug Enforcement Agency, by the way, and as local enforcer for Redacted in Miami. The DEA runs surveillance under Chilean reps, and guess what? That's a code name for an organization if I ever saw one, because I'm used to knowing what to look for in these things. So I don't have to read the rest. It's more dirty business about Jerry Melendez, also known as Aguirre, but we found the clue that we needed. So we don't have any more intel, but this package, we need to find other info and get it linked up with Chilean reps so we can solve this particular case file right here. And then we have Valhalla's writings that we've collected. 6 out of 10 potential intel here. Let's take a look here. We're looking for another organization now. So I suppose I should be accustomed to betrayal by now, but it still stings. We learned yesterday that an agent has been pocketing bribes from Redacted for years. Years. Not for a son's tuition or a sick mother either. They had a secret mansion in Malibu, which coincidentally is next to a convergence cell. Humans are ever the weak parts of my plans. It is infuriating, and yet therein lies my weakness. My constant foolish belief that people are better than they are. So there was a name of a organization in there, and we have to find it. Betrayal. We learned yesterday an agent. No, it's son's tuition. He had a secret mansion in Malibu, which coincidentally is next to a convergence. There it is. To a convergence cell. So there's the organization. And now we got some more intel here. We got MI6 that this could be related to. And we got U.S. Marine Corps that this could be related to. We got NASA, where we got links that it could be related to. And then so you just start finding the links. Conglomerate, junction, or letter bomb. I don't see that in any of these, so this is freestanding right now. And then we got 2 more that we have to discover the intel in here. So action summary, protesters, and we got 4 clues that we got to find in here. Protesters sent by lizard men, that's a code name if I ever read one, occupied the planned drilling site outside of Redacted. Citing the existence of endangered wildlife within, full media saturation took less than 3 days, largely due to a conflict between the protesters and armed representatives from Conglomerate. Havana Taylor and Pallas Athena, disguised as protesters, and everything else is redacted. So we got the clues we needed from this. Yeah, anything you recommend, I consider, I take a look at. We've talked about different games in there, and, you know, we can only do so many at a time, but I love seeing your suggestions. I love checking out new games that maybe I've missed. So, Pepper, feel free to go to the Discord and suggest anything you want. We can maybe talk about it there if enough people are interested, that kind of thing. So never feel that you shouldn't recommend something or suggest something over there. Okay, so on this one, our recon proved more than satisfactory thanks to Letterbomb's local informers, Navy Blue Inc., Mailman, and Redacted. The most important discovery was the upcoming bombing plot by Yellowcoats. Also, so we got what we needed from this one. So it's fun reading these things, trying to pick out and highlight what the code words are. So Havana, is there a Havana Taylor anywhere up here? Conglomerate anywhere up there? So we're not going to make any connections with anything up there. Lizard Men up there. Oh, I see Conglomerate here. And then, what else did we see? Paulus Athena. I'm not seeing Mailman Stalker. If you see anything, yell out for me. But I don't think I see any other connections at the moment. Yellow Coats anywhere else? Letterbomb anywhere else? Oh yes, we do. We got Letterbomb over here. All right, so right now, and we got Mailman up here, so we got a connection over here. So this is our biggest string of connections so far, but I don't think we have anything to carry over to Aqueduct or Humming Nurse. Oh, Humming Nurse is right here. So we got another connection over here. And then Seventh Wave or Iron Princess. Now, I think we've made all the connections that we can make right now. Mailman, I got that one. Yeah, okay, I caught that one. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. So this one's done for now. We got all the connections we can, but we don't have the big connection that we need to complete this thing, and that's right there. So that's how this part of the game works. The analytics part of the game. All right, so all that's left for the moment is to get out on the actual map. This is the next phase of the game where we search things out, we investigate tips that come up, you name it. This is where we find the missions that we're going to be going out on, and we advance the story. So we're going to get down to the map right now. And if you ever see anything else up here on the board that I might have overlooked mentioning or talking about, let me know, because we'll fill you in on how this game works, and you'll see over time, you'll get a clear picture of how it all works anyway. So this is our activity map. We have a map legend down here to help you out initially. I'll keep it open, but eventually I get rid of it because it's cleaner without it. But we have a few points of interest, as you can see. Suspicious activity taking place in these 4 locations. And so I have 3 agents available to check out these 4 locations, unless I want to take someone. The yellow are 2 agents in the hospital. So I know I have 3 available to fly around the map. And that's just what we're going to do. We're going to start checking out our suspicious activities out there. Now initially, or eventually, I want to have our agents traveling in pairs, because if we discover and need to do enemy recon in any of these locations, you always need at least 2 agents to accomplish that. Problem is, we just don't have enough early on. Now also, in these suspicious activities areas, you can get ambushed, and being ambushed solo is deadly. So it's always nice to have a friend to help you battle your way out of an ambush. That's all I have to say. But initially, I don't know that we have a choice. I want to find these and look at these as quickly as possible, and that's just what we're going to do. So we're going to send one of our agents. We'll send Codex over to Beirut. Oh, we're in Beirut. We're going to send Codex over here to Muscat, Kuwait City. We'll send Sapphire over there. And then over to Baghdad, that's where we're going to send Canasta. And we're going to let the rest of us, the 2 others of us, Deadpan and myself, or am I Deadpan? I can't remember all the code names. Okay, let's get going. Okay, in this first area, we found nothing. Some other symbol would have come up if we had found something, and there's no suspicious activity there. So what I can do is now to Port Said, I'll just take Canasta, and see she's finished up where she is, and we'll get her started on a brand new job flying over here to investigate there. Okay, so Aguirre has been located. So we tracked down Aguirre. Officially, he coordinates maritime transports for a charity called the Good Samaritans of America. unofficially, that's what we need to find out. We just need to wait until he makes a suspicious move and follow him to destination. And we got some new intel from finding him that, well, let's just jump in there now and... Okay, so what we have is there's Aguirre's suspicious activity. Now, the difference here is this is a story mission. And the way... I just know that, but the way we'll be able to tell in the future, the story mission does not have... These are not active timers. I can take my time on story missions, so it's done that way, so you can't accidentally not get to a story mission in time, because that would kind of bork the game. Don't you think? It would kind of bork the game if you couldn't advance the story. So story missions don't come with timers, even though you'll see times here. But that's more for when you finally start doing the tail Aguirre. That's how long it will take, 13 hours. But we need 3 agents to be able to accomplish this part of the story mission. And right now we're a little spread out. So we can come back to here knowing there's no time limit. We'll get to it. But that's how you read that. We have no other place right at the moment to send anybody else. And we have, if nothing turns up in these 2 other locations, we can send our 2 flyers right back and maybe take on that tail and advance the story. Yeah, and right now nothing was in those other 2 locations. So we're gonna send some agents here, both Codex and Canasta. We're gonna fly back here and we're gonna see if we can put a tail on the elusive Aguirre. And before we do that, I'm also then going to go into our investigation board because we picked up some new tips and we're going to take a look at those, and I think they're over here. And we got our first link right off the bat. I rarely get an immediate link to the main thing on the first go around, but we got an early clue to link us to Chilean reps. Letter bomb. I don't know. It's a wiretap transcript. We have 3 issues to find in here. So we got an outgoing call from Night Warden. Sounds like yeah, that's a code name. Office 267 in it's all redacted. Here, I just received B19 documents. Care to tell me what the hell I'm looking at? And it's all redacted, but Windjammer Limited sounds like something. And no wonder, Street Racers, there's another one. It's just a matter of picking out the code names to start coming up with the links. And so we got Windjammer over here. We got Whistleblower. Now, do we have Whistleblower or Obsidian Eyes? So there's no other links available right now. So we're going to see if Windjammer ends up getting connected to Chilean reps through all this. And we'll see. So we'll get back out on the map. We've covered everything here. And let's fly here and see if anything else pops up in the meantime. No, nothing popped up. And I just want to take... And pretty soon our guys here will get healed at some point. We only had hours to go. But you can see the hours tick by up here. So that gives you a better idea of, you know, how many more hours we got to wait on these guys when you actually remember how many hours before they got healed. But anyway, let's get back in here. We now have 3 agents here, and we can tail Aguirre. So we are going to go do that. So Aguirre ordered a 4x4 ready by sundown. If he does anything suspicious, he's going to do it now. So we're going to tail with all these 3 and do it. Now let's advance the time, and you'll see a time bar here. This is the tail going on in the background. We don't actually get to watch the tail. It's just happening as we get the time going, and other things could very well pop up in the meantime, because these agents are now in the process of tailing, so they're unavailable. If I see something that I feel I need to address, I got to take some guys out of the infirmary. And we built our recon equipment, so that's good. Let's go back to the facility and figure out what we want to build next. And you'll see In fact, if I go in there, I'll show you on the one we're tailing right now, the recon job. But I'm going to go and do the forger now. I'm not going to expand the crew quarters yet, even though I need another agent would be a godsend. But I want to up our income more importantly right now. And so we're going to expand the forger facility next. And Durand is now healthy and available, so we have our first individual available. And then I still have, oh, I gotta come over here. I still have 3 hours to go before I can get out of the infirmary, unless I don't mind going out. And this is another bar. This is something else we gotta look at. This is the heat on my character after that first mission. So not much else has to go wrong, like working in front of cameras again, like we did in that first mission, to blow my cover, and that costs money to change cover. So the three of us that were on that first mission have high heat. Other activities that can happen can make that heat go higher, and the two that didn't do anything have no heat on their individual. So the forger facility is, since some of us are high on heat, that's why we're doing this, because it'll, in addition to better cash flow, it's going to allow us to change our identities if our cover is blown. So fortunately all the bases are named. They'll know the name of where we're going on these bases, but yeah, the US students might not know the country that we're going to, that's for sure. All right, so everything's under control here at the moment. So we're going to go back out on the map and see what else we can find. I at least have a single agent that can address a hotspot that comes up with some suspicious activity. It's quiet right now. Sometimes things pop up all over the place. Sometimes you have these quiet spells. It's all pretty random. In fact, okay, the forger facility just finished. We're going to go back and see if there's anything else I want to build. We're down to 3,620. And actually, I'm going to optimize the printing press. I like to improve my cash flow as quickly as possible. To me, that's a early game priority. I've seen other play differently, but I like optimizing my cash flow early. And especially now that we can change our identities, that's another big early thing to get under our belts. Everything else we can live with. We don't have heat on our location, so I don't have to worry about real estate contacts and perimeter detectors yet. Yeah, it'll get hopping when all of a sudden we start having a lot of different things on the map, and then different things will start popping a lot quicker. We just have to get through the early part. Now we have a forger, and what I'm going to do with Durand while he's sitting around is we're going to assign him to this job. I can pull him out if I need him, but our income went from 40 to 60 by having him in here. And with the next one, printing press that we're building, that'll increase it even more. Oh, I guess we won't take the extra income. I'm healed. I can go out. So, oh no, this is, yeah, I'm deadpan. So I'm gonna go explore over here and scout the area. And just as I mentioned earlier, when things pop up, until we built that tactical recon building, our room, we couldn't have done this particular mission, and it's vital to get those done before you attempt an assault. If I ever have an opportunity to at least show you what it looks like with tactical recon and without tactical recon, I'll take advantage to try and show you guys how drastically different and how much more difficult it is, even if I have to do a fake save real quick just to show you what it looks like, just so you understand why this is so important. Alright, so Aguirre drove for several hours, crossed the border into Syria unhindered. The border patrol must have been paid off. Our agent finally tracked him to a ruined public library in a Syrian ghost town where Aguirre set up camp. So we all gained a little bit of XP by trailing him, not a ton. And we got some new intel from tailing him. So let's go take a look at that. And we got a new thing to try and tie it, the Antigua cartel. It seems like I've seen Obsidian Eyes already. We have a connection here. And sometimes you get lucky and you don't need all the intel that you can possibly get to complete the file, but we made the connection between these two, and we get a new agent candidate from it. We get an enemy agent revealed, and we get a new blueprint so we can manufacture our own smoke grenades. So the Chilean reps are tied in with the Antigua cartel, and we don't need to do all the rest because there's nothing else we're going to gain by doing that busy work. Sometimes you have to collect all 9 before you get the answer. We got lucky on this one by figuring it out early. Alright, we got new points of interest out here to take care of. This is suspicious activity, and it also happens to be where the next story mission is. So these guys are now here available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the pair of them here. We'll do Canasta and Codex. And then we'll send Sapphire out here to explore and scout that area. And we got 2 more locations to scout out now. So as much as I want the income, it's only 20 at this point until the optimized printing press is done. I think I'm going to take our agent out of here, out of his job, so we can send him to inspect. Time is of the essence in getting to these places sometimes, because there's timers in being able to get there in time to tail, to do the recon, and all the things that can make the job a lot easier. So I'm going to take our guy out of the forger. We're going to take him out of there so he can go flying. And we're going to get Durand flying. And then everything but this is covered, so we're almost to Aleppo, and we can pop someone back here if we need to, depending on what we find. Okay, it doesn't look like we found anything new here, just the safe house, so I'm going to send that pair right back here. And we didn't find anything here. So I'm going to send these 2 right up there to Baku. And where are we flying out here? Bhopal. So we're all the way into India there. We got Kabul. Well, everybody should know where Kabul is from. Well, at least everybody in the US should know where that is after our long time spent there. And then we got Algiers where we're headed over here. So let's get going. Yeah, it ebbs and flows, Felipe. Well, it does pay off, but you can see where I got a lot of these single agents flying. It's dangerous. Now, early game may be less dangerous, but I've been ambushed very early before, so it's not always a wise idea. So, something popped up over here. We found a new hideout location. So that's good. Right now we have no danger on our current location, but it's always nice to start piling up hideout candidates so you have a place to move. And I'll show you why real quick. If you come out here, we can see where the hideout is. Look how much it costs us to move there. It's a new hideout that will have no danger itself, but we will also find cheaper hideouts that come with a little bit different levels of initial danger depending on the cost. So 8,000 is a lot to spend to move. Especially looking at our income right now and all the things we need to build. So yeah, we got a hideout, but it's not the ideal hideout that we're going to eventually want when it comes time to move. Alright, so let's keep everybody going. Everybody's flying except for you. We have one agent here in case something pops up soon. And we found something here. We found an informer here. So once we find an informer, we can leave this location. So these two agents are also available. The informer will just, after a while, the informer will give us his information. We located him and he's going to get us the information. And these other two locations, we did not find anybody. So what I'm going to do, who do we have in Bhopal? That's me. So you know what? I'm going to send me back to the base. Keep it interesting for our other agents. And I'll make some money back there. And then what I'm going to do is join these two up somewhere more centrally located, so that if we get another hotspot, because I got these two available right now, and then I'll have another pair of agents, which is always the safest way to travel. So let's get two more over here from Algiers and Kabul. We want those two to travel over there and meet up, and they'll now be a team I'm going to send around as a pair. Some of these things I didn't always do, and you learn from playing, and there's two more locations. And we have our optimized printing press. So we'll just continue out here. And we've already got here to meet up. So I'm going to send this pair here, this pair here. So the pair from Port Said will go to Casablanca. What a great spy location to go to. And this tells you when you're pulling them from somewhere how long it'll take you to get there. And then we're going to get someone else checking out this potential suspicious activity over here. And we got another one out there. And I guess instead of printing, well, we'll be here real fast. So we'll see what's here, and then I can fly, since it's all close range. Eventually, you get cities at the far reaches of the map over in the US, and you need teams stationed around the map. It's a lot of cool OCD coordinating. So those of you who, yeah, OCD, this is my, now you understand, Mike, why I like this game. It's the OCD is what it is. I'm telling you, it's the OCD is what it is. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I wasn't flying there. I misjudged. Okay, we have nothing here. I'm going to fly this pair from Tripoli all the way back to Aleppo. And we found something here. And this is why it's good to have a pair. You're going to find out right now. Since we have two here right now, we have a limited time to be able to get this mission done. We have to be able to get this mission done before the timer, the overall timer, runs out in 15 hours before we have to make an assault over here. So what we have here is enemy scout. So if we, and there's also, you have an option to just ignore what you find. But this tells you the consequences. If I ignore what we're finding over here, that'll increase the danger on our base up here by 82. And right now I think 450 is the amount that we're showing in here for our base. We can improve that down the road with buildings. But that's like, well, it's not quite, but you know, that's like a fifth of our total right there if we just ignore this mission. So there are times you may get to ignore missions, and they'll have, you'll ignore the missions by danger level where possible to try and keep the heat off your own base. Well, since we got these two right here, we got Durand, a good agent, and a not so good agent. They're both going to do the tactical recon and get that done for us. So we'll have another mission that we'll be able to accomplish once they scout it out. Okay, now we're flying here and we have nothing else on the map. And I'm going to close the map legend. If any of you, even if one of you wants me to keep this open a little longer, let me know. But it clutters up the map a lot. Just to my senses. And so if we don't need it, I'll keep it closed, or maybe I'll start with it at the beginning of an episode to refresh your mind on the icons. But let's get going. And we got another one over here. Well, we're almost here, and then we'll fly down here. Unless we have a recon, then I may have to send myself over here. In the meantime, I got to do this, because I'm back in the base. And I need to get forging and get our income now up to 80. So with the extra printing press that we've made, it's now... We started the game at 40, and it's now up to 80. And that's every hour. And we need that. Because we, especially if our IDs start getting blown, a new identity costs $700. So there you go. We need funds. It may seem like we're okay. That can disappear in a snap of a finger. All right, so let's get flying where we're going. And we found a new informant, so that's good. That means I can continue flying us over here. For the demonstration of how dangerous, I'll tell you what I can do, because I don't have to complete that mission per se. If I stopped it before the recon's done and did a save right there, then I took them off the recon and just did an assault, it would kind of show you the map, and this might be the time to do it. Let me just let the recon. The recon is the green bar. I believe the red is the overall bar. The red bar is moving a lot slower than the recon bar. Before the recon bar finishes, I'm going to stop. And it's probably going to be a good time to call it right now. So that means what I'll be able to do at the beginning is I'll have that save, and I can play beyond that save just to show you what an unreconned mission looks like. And then we'll just go back to the save and play the actual game. If you all are up for that, I'd love to do that, just because I'm not in the habit of doing unreconned missions. Because of how nasty they can be. So this would be a quick way, and I wouldn't have to complete the whole mission and take that long. But if y'all want to see that, let me know, because this would be the perfect and easy time to do that. And we found nothing there. And so I'm just going to stop right now. I think that's what we'll do, is we'll call it right now. And then, let me know in the Discord. Let me know in comments. And I'm leaning forward. We'll just open up and say, from the save I'm going to make right here, it's safe for me to open up and do that, just to show you how nasty and different. Because we'll get to do this same mission basically twice. One with recon, one without recon. So we'll give that a look. We'll give that a go next time. And it's been a couple hours now anyway, so it's a perfect time to stop. So the timing all worked out, and we get to open up with a mission, or technically a mission and a half, because we'll only do part of one of them as we explore around. So appreciate y'all. We had some great comments, good active board today, a lot of people jumping in to check out what this game was all about, and I really appreciate that. This is way more activity than, to be quite honest, I was thinking I'd see for a game nobody's ever heard of. So I appreciate y'all jumping in to take a peek, and we'll learn a bit more about the game next time then. I appreciate all the comments, all your input, and remember, it's a new game. Most of you probably haven't seen it, so ask any questions. Nightmare's been asking some good questions early on. Anybody else that has other questions, don't feel free to ask, and I'll ask away. I'm trying to explain a lot as I go, but if sometimes I do it too fast, so you may have missed stuff. Any questions you got, I don't mind, and we'll pick this up next time. Now this one I'll pick up, it's Wednesday right now. This one I will pick up on Sunday. So we'll come back to this on Sunday, and to be quite honest, I'm going to start another little surprise on Saturday. I feel I'm in the mood to have a couple streams going again, and hopefully you know what, it's like sometimes things get busy and I run out of time, or the editing, I can't get the editing done in time for the series that we got going, the regular Let's Plays. But a live stream, we got a drop dead time, and I got to be there, and just it forces me to have to do it. And I kind of like, that's what I like about the live streams. At least the output is regular, even if it's not the episodic ones. So thank you all so much. Appreciate it. This is ZigZag signing off from somewhere in this world. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, Patrick, too, Felipe, Mike, Nightmare, Pepper, everybody else that was in there, Jarno. I can't remember all the names without scrolling up, but trust me, if I didn't say your name, I'd really appreciate it. You're dropping in, making a comment. Gleaser was in there a little bit earlier. Yeah, they'll start coming to me over time. So I appreciate y'all dropping in to take a look. Brings a smile to my face and, as you know, energizes me. So we'll see y'all next time. Ciao.